Hello and welcome back to Automotive Tales. The video you're about to watch is a little bit different to my normal video. I knew this job was going to be tricky, so I filmed it in a slightly different way so you can get the real raw feeling of how frustrating it can sometimes be to work on some of these vehicles. I hope you enjoy. Bleep bloop in the comments below. Let me know what you think of this sort of way of editing the videos. Rightio, you will recognise this as my slightly leaky, rusty transit van, and today's job is to try and stop it being quite so leaky. So the sump gasket is, I'll take a picture into here, you'll see it's leaked all over the floor, despite me putting a tray underneath it, because I may have got the tray in the wrong spot, but it is constantly leaking oil from the sump. So I think it's as simple as a sump gasket. So I have a new sump gasket, I have some new oil, and I have a new oil filter, because we've got to take all the oil out. Might as well do the filter change and give it a service while we're at it. So, first job is to get it blocked onto the lift, get it up into the air. Surprisingly, despite the fact it only just fits under here, I had to have somebody stand on the tow bar to get it under the frame here. There is plenty of room up there for the van to go up, so we should be able to get it at a good working height. So I have a Dr. Nuff with me, who is going to join me in swearing at this thing, and hopefully it'll be slightly less leaky in the next hour or two. Right, let's get on with it. Quick look under here, you can see the nice new starter motor the van has had, and you can see there is a lot of detritus around this sump. However, I'm not convinced that's the only place it's leaking from, because it's quite dirty here, including a few drips off the bottom of the starter motor. So I think we have a multitude of problems to try and find, but let's focus first on the sump. I mean, you can see like all the stuff dripping off the bolts, so I'm hoping this is going to be at least 50% of the problem sorted. So, as you can see, this is already going really well. That would be one of the many 8mm sump bolts that sheared clean off. And ignore the strange noise, I'm not peeing, that's just the van. We've already discovered that, that one is missing. So I think we may have found the source of the leak. It also looks like there's a lot of RTV or gasket sealant. Yeah, which I think is what we're going to have to do just behind the torch here, because that one there is the one that I just broke off. So I have now got the drill and some drill bits out, because that's going to be the next job. So instantaneously, this just, quickly whip the sump off, put a new gasket on it, put it all back together, has turned into a
bit of a mission.
Yeah. One might call it a cluster.
Oh, started. Oh.
Did that go or break?
It went. Woohoo! Oh, that one was loose.
So we've got a combination of missing, broken, loose, and too tight.
Well, I say it was loose. It was looser than the rest. Oh, it's a nut and bolt. Lovely.
Same to studs as well. Just watch mine.
That is a sump loose, I think. Tis but a dribble.
Right, so try and get the sump off.
There we go.
That is going to need some cleaning as well.
Something snapped off in that one. Which other one? That one.
None of them have got enough sticking out to...
your one, that one.
Yeah, so I think it's straight on with the drill. I started with the 3.2, I think.
Soft as it sounds, have you got one? Hang on, calm down. Calm the f down. Have you got a 6mm? If you've got a 6mm, it will centre it, and then you can go through with a little one. Oh yeah!
Hey, motherfucker! Right, that's one. Fucking that's hard work. Stop dripping oil onto me. Bastard. Okay, you join me under the transit and I'll show you what the actual problem is. So interestingly, this here is a stud and there's another one just back here. So that's obviously to locate the sump. You see the rest are threaded holes. Although interestingly, this one over here is a blind hole. So I presume that's because either somebody's had this problem before and has drilled it out, but it looks a bit neat for that. So I wonder if it's meant to be a blind hole. And then the ones that snapped were this one just here, which has now come out. So I had to destroy the face of the thread a little bit to get a centre punch point, which then started to move what was left of the bolt. So that's come out, actually threaded all the way through and came out the top. I'm just working on another one over here, which I'm trying to get out through the bottom. But I've got so far, I've not got enough thread left on the top now to turn it, and it's sort of only just sticking proud here. So not quite sure how that's going to work. Hopefully I can just about grip what's sticking out and then continue to thread it out from the bottom. And then the one that's going to be an absolute pain is this one here next to the stud. So you can see I've already sort of tried to make a centre point in it with the drill. I've already started to drill through the remains of the thread, but it's pretty hard going. So I've given that a break to focus on that one back there. In the meantime, this is slowly dripping onto me, which is, you know, it's good fun. So yeah, what should have been quite a quick, you know, whip the sump off, clean all this up, put a new gasket on, bolt it all back up, put the new oil filter in, has turned into an absolute nightmare. And to add insult to injury, the oil filter is somewhere up there. There he is. I can't actually see it, but I can see it on the camera screen. So, you know, what? Why put an oil filter there? For one, it's almost inaccessible, and two, as soon as you undo that, it's going to pour oil everywhere, all over the drive shaft here and the side of the engine. That is just monumentally stupid, Ford. Dear Ford designer, go give your head a freaking wobble. What is that about? Moron. Yeah, boy, look at that. I don't mean to see that with my hand in the way, but that is now coming out by hand. Oh, that's so satisfying. No drilling to be done here. So, Dr. Nov, the first love of my life, has brought me these along, little stud extractors, and I need to put the drill back on it, but I've just put one in there and spun the drill, and it started to pull that stud out. So, so yeah, look at him. He's coming out. Let's see if get there on the camera. Oh, how satisfying is that? Tell me that's not a beautiful sight. Oh yeah. Right, up she goes. Over she blows. Right, that's one. And give me a little bit of down a bit. Put it up way too far.
Pardon?
The thought of somebody cleaning threads. You know, it's had a new starter motor, new rocker cover, new sump gasket, new ignition switch, new sills, a tow bar. Very shortly about to get a service. Come on now, in you go. There we go. Fresh oil. Ow! Bastard. It's alright, just drop the fucking mole grips on my face. It's fine.
Did it hurt?
He did, yeah.
I'll do it again, I didn't watch it.
It's alright, I'm wearing my safety specs. Also known as my regular glasses. Shit. Oh yes, much easier to get to. One turn forward, half turn back. One turn forward, half turn back. Makes for a nice clean hole. Wow, there's some crap come out of this thread. Goodness me. Which one have I just done? Is it that one or that one? Which one have I just done? I think it was that one. I think that does not feel like a happy hole. Ah, bacon. I have bacon. Coming! Sort of.
A few moments later.
So we are sort of having success. We've got all 3 studs out that were broken on the sump. Opened the sump gasket only to realise it's for, I think, a different engine. There's possibly 2 variations. One which has a sump gasket, one which looks like it's just RTV. So the reason we didn't find a gasket and just lots of RTV is I think that's actually the factory way of sealing the sump, which is marginally annoying. And probably why it's covered in oil, because an RTV seal is never quite as good as a proper gasket. Apart from I don't have any RTV. So we've got all of the threads cleaned out, we've got the studs out, we're now going to do the oil filter, but I can't actually finish this job until tomorrow because it's Sunday and so there's nowhere open to go and get RTV, which is slightly annoying. So we're going to clean the sump up, change the oil filter, put it all up hand tight, put a big notice on the steering wheel saying do not start this vehicle, and then go get some RTV, and then after work tomorrow hopefully put the RTV on, stick the sump on, and hopefully we can then put some oil in. So that's marginally annoying. Right, now I've got to get absolutely caked in oil because that oil filter is on the side of the engine at the back above a drive shaft. So the oil is going to go everywhere. Excellent. And as you can see, we are suffering some beautiful British summer weather in that it's now cold, windy and raining, which is lovely. And because this van is a bit too big, I've got to get the doors open to do the work. So no putting heating on or staying properly dry, which is marginally annoying. First things first, I'm going to have a bit of a tidy up because, well, there's some broken drill bits, which was fun, and various other detritus running out and get out of the way first. Now we're going to move on to, well, apart from the oil filter, start to move on to the cleaner jobs. Right, here goes. Oh, sort of almost works. On. Stupid filter location. Oh, go on there, you prick. It's definitely turning, so that's a good start. It's such a bloody big filter, I can't get my hand around it. Ugh. Go on. Okay. That's loose. Now it's going to make a god-awful mess. Yep, there it goes. All over the drive shaft. Well done, Ford. That is monumentally fucking stupid. And the rubbers perish, and then you need new drive shaft gating. Because you can't unthread this thing quick enough to stop it doing that. And how the fuck do you get it out from that hole? Nice one. Just what I wanted, Ford. Well done. Look at that. Coat everything. Is this your idea of rust protection or something? Like, what on earth? Knobs. Like, an oil filter is a bloody consumable part. It should be the single most accessible thing in the engine bay. Not the 10th most accessible thing. It's truly stupid. I don't actually know how I'm going to get that in without getting dripped on. my hand in there, Ford. I can't fucking see where I'm putting it. Which means I'm getting grit and horrible, nasty shit all over the flaming seal. God, Struth, that's stupid. New filter on. Now it's got to clean everything. Maybe Ford, maybe they've got like significant shares in the company that make cleaning rag and brake cleaner and degreaser. Maybe that's why. It's the only explanation I can come up with. Sorry if it's really noisy. The microphone is on the brake caliper. Bloody sump dripping. Stop it! Doing an oil change, and everything is dripping. There is no clean way of doing this oil change, I don't think. Why are you all of a sudden dripping everywhere? Piss off. Not cool. Oh, I hate these jobs. I've got the state of my hands in like 2 minutes. Oh, I didn't want to get my gloves quite so oily so it soaks into them. Right, camera off a bit. Okay, so that's where we leave the saga for this video. That is the end of day one of what should have been a 2-hour job. You'll join us on the next video when we have the RTV and we start the simple process of putting the sump back on and filling it with oil, right? Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Okay, so percussive engineering might not be the best idea, but we sort of run out of ideas.